I'm going to pretend that I know what I'm talking about, but I don't. I've just read a bunch of books about this particular topic, and I thought it was really fascinating, and it's worked for me. I felt it in my body. I can tell when I'm there. I know the different things that are happening, and we're all in certain spaces throughout the day, and it all centers around brainwaves. Let's talk about those for a minute. One of my favorite books is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. It completely changed my life. It's by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Joe talks about this specifically in his book, and I highly recommend that book. But there's neuroscientists speak about it. This is a very common thing, and I'm going to do a very simple, I'm just a creative explanation of it. There are 4 main types of brainwaves that we exist in. So if you think about fast to slow, we go from a place called beta, which is the fast, we're working, we're stressed. Then we go into alpha, which is a little slower, which is we're being creative, but we're still awake, we're still present, we're still there, we're still with people. Theta, which is slower, which is the space that you get to right before you fall asleep. And now as a creative, I'm sure you felt this way. I love these moments where you're just falling asleep for a nap or something, and all of a sudden this idea pops. You go, oh man, I gotta write that down. Or when you're coming awake and you've just slept a beautiful 8 hours and you're coming awake and all of a sudden you have this idea. Or even in the middle of the night, you kind of wake up and you get into that theta zone and you gotta grab the notepad because something pops in. Theta is a beautiful place, and we're going to talk about that in a second. And then you have delta. Delta is the place that you get to when you're sleeping and you're fully healing and you're finished with the day and you're processing and your brain is just kind of at peace. Let's talk about theta for a minute. Well, let's not talk about theta yet because we'll save the best for last. Let's talk about beta. Again, I'm doing a quick explanation, but let's think about beta. We as human beings are constantly living in a stress state. Driving down the road, somebody cuts you off, you scream at them and you yell at them, that's beta. That's fight or flight. Now, if you're not familiar with the sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, again, quickly explaining it, talk more about it in some other videos, especially with the vagus nerve and different things like that. But fight or flight is a situation where there's a bear about to attack you and you're running because you think you're going to die. And in today's society, we live in that space on a consistent basis, and that's not good. That means that there is stress hormones that are going through your body called cortisol, and they're continually moving through your body, and they're present. Cortisol levels are leading to sickness, they're leading to different diseases, autoimmune diseases. If you have that running through your body is in like, I'm going to get attacked by a bear 24/7. You can't sleep, you yell at the person that cut you off in the car, you're going. So the goal is to find ways to get you down into alpha. Alpha is a healthy space to be. Like, alpha is a space that you would be when you're sitting around in a writing session, or you're sitting you're not quite in a flow state, but you're somewhat in a flow state where you lose yourself and you're just working. Alpha's a good space. So we don't want to be in beta, and we want to find ways that we can get our brain waves to slow down. And one of those ways is through meditation, which we're going to talk about in other videos. But I just wanted to give an explanation of brainwaves. And one of my favorite things to think about is theta. Theta is such a special space to exist in, because that's where you have direct access to your subconscious. So the whole goal with meditation and the whole goal with different types of modalities is to get your brainwaves into theta so you can do several things. So we can create from theta. We can create from our deep subconscious in theta. When you lose yourself and all of a sudden 4 hours have gone by and you've created this thing, you're in alpha theta. You're in that sweet spot. You're in that flow state where you're accessing and you're direct access to the subconscious. Now, how do we exercise getting there? Well, we've exercised getting to beta by being stressed all of our lives. How can we access slowing that down to theta? To me, meditation. So not only does theta work for creativity, but theta works for healing. Now, when I say healing, what I mean is when things happen to you over the course of your life, traumas build up. Now, traumas are, again, something we'll talk about in the future, but traumas are things that dictate how you react to people. Traumas are the reason that you go into beta. They cause the emotions to cause the beta to cause the reaction. You can heal those in your subconscious by going into theta and letting those traumas escape. Letting those traumas be seen, be heard, cry, all these different things that you can release, and you can get into theta to heal the things that have happened to you in your past. And we're going to talk a lot more about that coming up. I've got some great books that I've read, and I want to share those books. Again, I'm not a neuroscientist, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, and I'm not a therapist. But I love this stuff. And as just a creative general guy, I just want to talk about it, what I've learned and stuff like that. So those are the 4 brainwaves. We've got beta, alpha, theta, and delta. And theta is that sweet spot that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk a lot about it. Theta is the space where we can be mindful in. We can get to theta during the day. Theta is the space that we can meditate in and heal. And theta is the space that we can manifest things from. Theta is the space that we can... It's just such a sweet space to be in. And you'll know it. When you do the work and you do the meditations and you just lose yourself for a minute in a meditation and you get into that theta space, you can really rewire your brain. Rewire your brain. We're going to talk about that too. I can't wait. It's going to be so fun. So just wanted to give you a little bit of a summary of the 4 different types of brainwaves. And I want you to think about it when you're going through your day, like, where is my head at right now? Why did I just yell at that person that cut me off? Why am I ticked off that this person cut in line? It's like, you shouldn't be. It's not you. It's them. And if you're in that space, you're in this fight or flight beta space about that bear that's about to attack you. It's not good for your health. It's not good for you. It's not good for the world. We want people to be in this alpha theta space. So let's come up with some ways to do it. I've had some techniques for myself. I've got some friends that I've talked to that have some techniques too, and I'm going to share some of those with you moving forward. Thank you for being here. Grateful that you're here. Peace and love. Talk soon.